So I've seen the UK's downfall firsthand. Now, technically speaking, the UK has been falling apart since around about 2008 because it never properly recovered from the global financial crisis. But in the last few months, we've seen a real acceleration of that collapse. One of the highlights of the last month was Keir Starmer resigning less than 2 years after winning in an absolute landslide. This is because his party, Labour, got absolutely hammered in the May council elections, and nearly 100 Labour MPs publicly called for him to go. Think of the council elections as mini-elections to decide the leaders of local councils, but not the actual Prime Minister. So Labour under Starmer had been doing such a bad job that Labour got absolutely decimated in the council elections, and Starmer was forced to resign as a result. He's staying on as caretaker for just a little while Labour runs a popularity contest to pick his replacement, which should be done by about September. That means that Britain is now on its 6th Prime Minister in around about 7 years. And notice who picks the new Prime Minister. It's not done by a vote. The Labour Party just picks a guy. So Britain gets yet another Prime Minister that not a single member of the public voted for, which is just absurd. The favourite to take over right now is called Andy Burnham. He's the mayor of Greater Manchester, but his economic policies are not liked by everyone. JP Morgan, for example, is reportedly considering scrapping $1 billion UK investment if Andy Burnham gets the job. And while the governing party picks some random guy that nobody ever voted for, look at what the opposition's doing. So you've got Nigel Farage. He's led national polls for most of this year. The bookies have him as the next Prime Minister of the UK, but he's not in the Labour Party, so he can only become Prime Minister with a general election, which could still be a few years away. Now, Farage is the leader of the Reform Party, and he's the MP for a part of the UK called 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁𝗁. But on July 7th, he announced that he's resigning from that position over allegations that he failed to declare millions of pounds in gifts from wealthy donors, allegedly. So he denies any wrongdoing in this. Of course he does. I mean, that's what politicians do, right? Now look, I'm not going to get into my political opinion here on who I think should take over as the next Prime Minister. That's not what this video is about, and that's on you to decide if you're a UK citizen. I'm just here to point out the facts, and I find it very funny that Farage got up on stage and took the piss out of Starmer for some rather large campaign donations that Starmer got, specifically around a very expensive set of glasses that Starmer was donated and was wearing. Yeah, actual glasses. I know it's very weird. Editor, roll the clip, please.
Do you like them? Very expensive. But guess what? I bought them myself. How about that?
So obviously, after taking the piss out of Starmer for a few £100,000 in donations, when it came out that Farage had £5 million in donations, it didn't look too good for him. And of course, he's been getting a little flack in the media, or a lot of flack. So his answer was to resign, which triggers a by-election for his own seat. Now, his plan was to simply run again and be re-elected for the same seat that he just resigned from. This proves that the people actually want him as MP. Basically, it's a trial in the public court of opinion for this little snafu with the £5 million in donations. Some would call it a publicity stunt. And recognising it as such, as a publicity stunt, the other parties, Labour, Lib Dems, the Tories, etc., looked at this as a joke of an election and said, nah, we're going to sit this one out. You have your fun, Nigel. But one guy didn't sit it out. Count Binface. As I said earlier, Count Binface is a comedian with a bin on his head, whose manifesto includes forcing rule-breaking cyclists to ride unicycles. People in the UK hate cyclists. And whose campaign slogan is taking out the trash, of course referring to Nigel Farage as the trash. I mean, I need to stop laughing at this stuff because while it's funny, it's also just sad to watch that this is what the once mighty UK has fallen to. I mean, politics is always a bit of a joke in every country because we know how dodgy politicians are and how a lot of this stuff is just rigged. But when it gets to this level of joke, it's a sign that the country is in a downfall. Quick thing before you go, I've written a free guide called How to Retire Before 2036. It's a full 10-year plan for anyone starting late. Get out of debt, invest properly, retire on time. Free download, link in the description.